your scuba gear on. Let's go swim with the dolphins.
Oh, here they come! Dolphins are perfectly adapted to their environment. They have nothing to do but swim and play all day. They have massive brains. They're incredibly intelligent. If dolphins bought insurance, they'd choose High House.
High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. Try us and see. Call 606 552. High House, local reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
Hello and welcome to Selsey Internet Radio. This is Keith Barnes, and in this week's show we have Jean Pratt, who will be telling us what's on in and around the village for the coming week. We have an interview with Neil Kimber from High House Insurance. We have me in the kitchen giving you a recipe, and you may well laugh. We've also got information about an up-and-coming fundraising event and some news on Dennis Cowans' latest podcast. And we'll also hear from Mike Nicholls with regards to what's going on in Selsey for the young people. And firstly, we go across to Jean Pratt. Jean.
Hello, Keith. Good morning, everyone. This is to remind you, on Monday the 26th, the social club run by the Platinum Home Care team are meeting weekly at the Selsey Centre from 2 to 4:30. It is staffed by qualified care assistants who are there to help those who might need it. Some of the things that you can enjoy are bingo, puzzles or craft activities. Coffee, tea or cake, biscuits provided. For more information, telephone 605 675. On Monday, again on the 26th, the Royal British Legion, the ladies section, are holding a silent auction where members can donate new or unwanted items, and the money raised will increase their charity funds. It will take place in the Selsey Town Hall starting at 2:15. All new members will be most welcome. For further information, contact Jill Pessel, 601-426. On Monday evening, the Selsey Film Club are presenting What We Did on Our Holiday with a very impressive cast. David Tennant, who some may know as Doctor Who, Rosamund Pike and Billy Connolly. It is produced by the people who made the TV series Outnumbered. It's an uplifting comedy, so it should be a good evening's entertainment. Starts at 7:30. There is a break in the middle where you can get refreshments. Tickets are only £5 and can be purchased at the door or in advance from the town hall, or for internet users by going online to www.selseyscinemaclub.wordpress.com. Tuesday the 27th of January, the VIPs, the Visually Impaired Club, that are linked to the Foresight, are holding their regular meeting. They will be going out for lunch. To find out more details of this, contact Judy Smith on 606-995 or Jill Erickson 601-628. Transport for the outings and meeting is door to door. This is with the help of the Venture Club bus. For this you should call 605-115. Thursday, the 29th of January, again, this important message for those of you using an electric blanket for warmth in bed. Is it safe to use? Has it been checked recently? Now would be a good time to do that, so why not bring it along to the fire station on Thursday, the 29th of January. Somebody will be there from 9:30 until 4:30, and they will check it for you. Most importantly, it's free. On Friday the 30th of January, the Derby and Joan Club meet at St Peter's Church Hall, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Why not go along and enjoy a cup of tea and a game of bingo? Members who wish to be picked up and anyone who would like more information, call Jill Evenden, 604-187. Saturday the 31st of January, the Venture Club, adjacent to the co-op, have a garage sale from 9 till 12. They are looking for more volunteer drivers, particularly Sunday morning. Also help needed in the office, mornings or afternoon. Contact numbers are office 605-115 from 9:30 till 11:30 and 2:30 to 4 Mondays to Fridays, or even 9:30 to 11:30 on Saturdays. Also on Saturday the 31st, the Selsey Scouts charity shop in School Lane will be open from 10 till 12. That's all for this week. Thank you. Back to Keith.
Thank you for that, Jean. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Well, my guest in the studio this morning is Neil Kimber, sole owner and shareholder from High House Insurance. Now, many of you will know Neil, and maybe quite a few of you perhaps won't, but they'll certainly know High House Insurance. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
Neil, just a few questions just to make you better known to the people of Selsey, because I know your business is probably better known to them, but you as a person perhaps not. How long's High House Insurance been in Selsey?
Well, we've been in Selsey 10 years next year, 10 years anniversary next year.
Oh, really?
In April. Yeah, we started in Trident Business Park as an internet trading company, and we hit the buy-to-let market quite early stages with our internet trading. So we decided that to support the community, we'll move into the high street and see whether we could service the local area, basically.
Oh, right. And what made you decide to open in Selsey initially? Are you a local?
Well, I
guy,
moved down here about 15 years ago, to be perfectly honest with you. It was the standard bun leisure thing where you actually move down here because your parents have got a caravan down here.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they moved down, and then the whole family moves down. And I wanted to get out of the city. I've worked at Lloyd's of London for 20 years, and I wanted to get a bit of out of the rat race and into a bit of a calmer situation. And I moved down here with the idea to retire. Got 2 weeks into it, and it was a little bit too difficult, really. I'm one of these people that can't sit down and hang my pens up, you know.
Yeah, I know the feeling well. I moved down here 9 years ago with the sole intention of retiring, and I'm still working now. So
I think I've been busier down here than I have anywhere, to be perfectly honest with you.
Is Selsey your only office?
Yeah. We started, as I say, in Trident, thanks to Phil and Angie Keats. They started our business up down there in Trident and gave us a lot of support back in 2005, 2006. Brilliant support there, and then we decided that the offices should move into the high street. Because we managed to cope with our business a lot easier. We insure about 4,500 households across the UK.
Really?
That's anything from their private home insurance to their business insurance and stuff like that. So we're quite national, really, in the way that we work.
Yes, I suppose nowadays it doesn't really matter where you are. You can sell your product online. And
you can do.
You know.
Our online trading's gone down quite considerably because you've got people that have jumped on the bandwagon, really. But our prices are a lot more competitive than the online markets in general for the niche areas that we do.
Yeah, it's I think very much a case of one person in any area. It doesn't have to be in Selsey area now, of course. One person will say, have a look at these. I found these online. And then all of a sudden mushrooms in that area.
Well, when you think with these aggregators you have to pay a certain amount of money towards each time you click down onto their websites, that's quite a phenomenal amount of money. And who pays for it in the end? It's Joe Blogs with their home insurance or their business insurance. So it tends to work, and we like to believe that we're a sort of community-based company. We like to put a certain amount back into our community.
Well, I was going to come on to that in a minute. I mean, have you any plans for further expansion? Obviously, you've expanded your business since your initial.
Yeah, we're trying to build a model at the moment in Selsey and then launch it out to. We're probably going to go through a rebranding and launch it out into to other areas as a community type insurance broker. And that's the way it really does work. You know, I'm a firm believer in you can only get out of a community what you put back into it. And that has been proven in the 10 years that we've been down here.
Well, I certainly know, and you probably won't thank me for saying so, but I certainly know that you put more than your fair share back into the community, because I've dealt with you with SACOS, and you're well known for your charitable contributions throughout the village in various forms, over the...
We try to support different areas each year. We're very close to the lifeboat, of course, which is dear to everyone's hearts. We're very close to the arts community as well. And we're looking to work with people and organisations that deal with younger generation and the older generation as well. We've got quite big plans for 2016 to work with Spirit FM and our good friend Sally Austin there to come up with a good charity-based promotion that will help a lot of organisations on the Manhood Peninsula.
Brilliant.
That's things to come, so just watch this space, really. Yes, we like to use the offices as a box office, so people come down and they know where we are and can come in and have a chat. And we have people just drop in for a cup of tea and a biscuit, which they're more than welcome to do.
You will hear me mention the use of High House Insurance as a box office in an item just a little bit after this one.
That's fine.
Do you set yourself a budget each year for that?
Well,
I don't expect you to tell me what the budget is, but
no.
Do you actually do it like that?
We do set a budget, but I always exceed that budget by 2 or 3-fold, as you normally do with most budgets. But the main thing is looking at the areas that actually need it, and there's a lot of voluntary organisations in Selsey at the moment that need all our listeners' support, really, especially first responders. They're really desperate to get themselves sorted, and we've committed to help them this year, which is a fantastic job that they do. But
well, they certainly do. I'd be the first to agree with that.
Since they lost their car just before Christmas, they're only operating on one vehicle, and that's really not adequate for our town, really.
No, because they can, where we're located, of course, the first responders can be the difference between life and death, and that's not exaggerating the issue at all, I don't think.
It's very true, and we've experienced that sort of firsthand. So first responders are really high up on the agenda, and of course the good work of the Selsey carers as well. What a fantastic job they do, caring for the carers, and we would like, and we are supporting them as well. And of course U3A, along with several other organisations, we can carry on and carry on and carry on.
It must be very difficult every year to decide who you're going to help this year, because I know, as I say, having been involved with SACOS and 1 or 2 other bits and pieces, that everybody is virtually everybody's looking for support, and you're as part of any of these groups, you're constantly going round asking for donations or asking for raffle prizes or whatever. It's, I think the best business that the small businesses in Selsey have is the people that come through the door asking for donations.
Very much so,
and
very much so. And a majority of them have got a real good heart behind them as well, and that's what we look for. So when we choose charities and organisations, it's not only for what they can bring to the society or to Selsey in general, it's what they personally bring as well. You've got some very charismatic characters in Selsey, and we're very, very lucky, and very hard-working characters as well. With Selsey Internet Radio, Youth Stream, Sports Stream, Art Stream, there's a lot of organisations in Selsey, and they all need a bit of a help on occasions. We put our banners up, and anything they say in the office, anything moves will have an HH on it, which generally is the case, but we do work very hard to promote our brand and to say to people, look, we're only a small insurance brokers, but we're community based, and that's what we want to be. We've got 60 years experience between us in the office. That's just myself, Louise and James, and we've been going for 10 years now, and we hope to be carrying on for at least 10 or 20 years, whether I'm here or not.
Well, I don't know where you're thinking you might be going. I don't think it's time for you to retire yet.
Not yet.
What do you do for relaxation, Neil? I mean, I know personally, what do you do business-wise, and what you do for the charitable organisations. But I mean, what do you as a person? What do you do to relax?
Well, I love my cars, as everyone knows, and that knows me. I love my cars, and that's my relaxation, like cleaning my cars. I love walking. I love taking the dogs out for walks.
I was one of the few people in Selsey who didn't know you loved your cars.
Yes, I'm a firm lover of cars.
Have you got a collection of particular cars?
I like fast sports cars. Always have done since I was a kid, and that's what I sort of like to aspire to and enjoy.
I'm a bit like that myself, but. I've got a toy stuck out the side of the studio at the moment that is really only a toy, and I drive it as fast as I dare sometimes. For an old fossil like me, perhaps I shouldn't be doing that. But
no, especially around the streets of Selsey.
Oh, I don't do it around the streets.
Otherwise, first responders would probably be a little bit busier. Yeah. But no, the relaxation. I tend to work about six days a week constantly. If I'm not working in the office, I'm working on other plans on how to create publicity, promotions and stuff like that. It doesn't sort of stop there. What we're supporting the carnival, and in the summer it becomes a bit of a nightmare. I barely do any insurance work. I'm still organising what we're doing for different events.
Yeah, yes.
But I think that's name awareness, and that's really branding, and that's really, really what counts in Selsey.
I can only say that if the community puts in to you half as much as you put into the community, then then they'll be doing their bit, and on average, it'll be beneficial to everybody. Of course.
On average, we charge a policy fee which is £20, and half of that goes directly into charitable organisations. In a year, we probably triple that into what we put into the organisation. So it's a fair amount. If the community supports us, we can support the community, and it does work. It's very interesting work as well, and you get to meet some fantastic characters.
As I say, having had first-hand experience of how much a donation from High House Insurance can mean to and any setup.
Yeah.
SACOS was the one that I'm talking about, but knowing what the donation last year to SACOS enabled us to do.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the community, we
and what fantastic shows SACOS do. They've got South Pacific coming up in April.
Absolutely,
which
yes.
We'll be selling tickets for in the next few weeks. What an amazing show last year.
Incredible show last year.
It just really, really went well. And we're proud to be supporting these sort of things. And U3A, we're proud to be supporting them this year, trying to get some promotional stuff done for them, and obviously with first responders, we hope to be able to support them a little bit.
Well, Neil, I know you're a very busy man, so I'd just like to say, on behalf of Selsey as a community, thank you for everything you and High House Insurance do, and thank you for coming in, and maybe we can get together and have a chat sometime later in the year to see how everything's gone and how your plans have materialised.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to say, as total owner of High House, what a wonderful job Selsey Internet Radio do, and I was so pleased to be there right from the start to get you started with the equipment and everything else, and you're doing a fantastic job. Well done. Keep it going, because that's what a community needs.
Well, I wasn't going to mention your contribution to Selsey Internet Radio, because I don't want to be accused of favouring people because they've done something for us. But I have to tell people that without Neil's contribution, we may not have been sitting here today. So we're just another one of those many that have benefited from High House Insurance and Neil Kimber's generosity. And thank you once again, Neil.
No, thank you, Keith. Cheers now.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Well, in case you hadn't have guessed, that was Neil Kimber there from High House Insurance in the High Street. During the interview, Neil mentioned Selsey community first responders and the fact that they're in a little bit of trouble and could do with some assistance financially. I was always under the impression that the first responders were part of the NHS service, but apparently they're not. Now, that may come as a shock to a good many of you, because it certainly came as a shock to me. I thought they were placed here because of the problems getting ambulances through from Chichester during the summer when the traffic was busy or at particularly bad times of the year. But that's not the case. The first responders are fully trained, work hand in hand with the emergency services, and are called on or called out by the emergency services. But they are, in fact, purely voluntary and are run on charitable contributions. Now, I have first-hand experience of how valuable they can be when I was taken ill a couple of years ago.
and I shall do my best to do anything I can to help. Now, on the 7th of March, there is a cabaret night being held at the Town Hall. Tickets will be on sale in about a couple of weeks, and you can get those from High House Insurance. Any profits made from the cabaret night will be split between Macmillan Cancer Support and Selsey Community First Responders. And Neil has very generously said that any money that we raise on that cabaret night for the first responders, he will match. Now, that's an extremely generous offer, but of course, unless people come, well, he won't have to pay out very much. So if you'd like to see Neil pay out loads of money, please get your tickets for the cabaret night, which you will see advertised very soon in and around the village. Please get your tickets and make it a night to remember, especially for Macmillan Cancer Support and for our very own Selsey first responders. Although tickets don't actually go on sale for another couple of weeks, if you'd like to pre-book tickets for this event, and it'd be advisable because it is only a one-night show and it's not to be missed, and we hope to raise an awful lot of money. So if you'd like to pre-book your tickets, please email me, keithbarnes49@aol.com, and the tickets will be pre-booked for you. Right, moving on now. Well, if you wonder what kind of item warrants such a fanfare, it's me in the kitchen. Yes, it's Keithy's kitchen, in the absence of the lovely Lynn Reeves, who's having a bit of time off. But she sent in this recipe for Grandma's rice pudding with a lovely nutmeg speckled skin. That's a rice pudding, of course, not Grandma. Right, so now what we need for this is 4 ounces of pudding rice, 14.5 ounces of evaporated milk, 1 pint of whole milk, a ½ ounce of golden granulated or caster sugar, 1 whole nutmeg, and 1 ounce of butter. Now this is simplicity itself. Even I can make it. Because all you do is mix the evaporated milk and the whole milk together in a jug. Then you place the rice and sugar in the oven-proof dish, pour in the liquid, give it a good old stir, grate the whole nutmeg over the surface. It may seem a lot, but it needs it. Then finally, dot the butter on top in little flecks. Next, just carefully pop the dish in the oven on the centre shelf and leave it there for 30 minutes. Then slide the shelf out and give everything a good stir up. Now repeat the stir-in after a further 30 minutes. Then pop the dish back in the oven to cook for another hour, this time without stirring. At the end of this time, the rice grains will have become swollen with pools of creamy liquid all around them, and of course all that lovely skin. Now don't forget, take a sharp knife and scrape off all the caramelised skin that sticks to the edges. My old granny always used to do this, and she used to share it out and make sure everybody got an equal portion, otherwise there'd be fights over it. So that's it, Grandma's nutmeg skinned rice pudding. Now, time to remind you now about another podcast that's coming up on Monday. It's our monthly special, produced by Dennis Cowan, called Pick and Mix. Now, this will be uploaded onto YouTube Monday late afternoon, I would guess, and you should find it very entertaining. So don't forget to have a listen to Dennis Cowan's Pick and Mix, the Selsey Internet Radio, on Monday. We're going across finally to Mike Nicholls once again, and Mike's going to give us a few updates on things that are about for the younger people in Selsey.
Thank you. I wanted to give our community just a brief update on some of the things that go on for young people in Selsey. It's interesting that in the last few months there have been some special films that have been laid on for young people and children, and certainly the edition of Frozen just before Christmas was an absolute pack-out and a very vibrant event. In an ongoing sense, activities like the Guides and Scouts have been around in Selsey for many years, continue to attract large numbers and are constantly seeking volunteers to cope with those numbers. It's interesting that when the Christmas lunch was held at the town hall for people who were on their own, our local Brownies and Guides made up 50 cards and presents to give to those folk in a very, very thoughtful and generous gesture. And on the day itself, there were actually a number of teenagers who came to help and to share their skills with those who were there. Just a sign that in our community there are many young people who want to serve others and who do so with a good spirit. We're grateful for our 3 local schools and those who teach there, and particularly with the Academy Secondary School. We're grateful to our 2 local youth workers, Donna Sadler and Kylie Scott, who go in there at lunchtimes and engage with the young people, listen to them and share all kinds of information. And that sort of engagement builds up relationships that can be very helpful. In the evenings, young people are not only able to engage in the various sports clubs that are around and activities, but they can share in drama clubs. They can attend the Snack Shack youth drop-in, where upwards of 40 young people a night have been going in and just being able to hang out and share with their friends. These kind of opportunities are immensely valuable. It's also good to be able to share with you that through the two youth workers, Donna and Kylie, that I mentioned, who between them give 48 hours a week of youth work time and run a number of projects that are particularly aimed to support young people at different points of their lives. So, for instance, they run a project called Tune In, which is to help and support young people who may at a particular point not find themselves in education or training or employment. And through a number of means, they try and increase aspiration and confidence and prepare people for their future. There is a project called Future for You, which actually operates in a group setting, one for girls and one for boys. And over an 8-week period, they will deal with such issues as relationships, drug and alcohol, education, harm reduction, the environment, things of that kind, which are all about helping young people develop and make wise choices. We're also glad that in this month there'll be a new service running called Respect. This is being done in partnership with NHS West Sussex. It'll run from Selsey Works, and a group of volunteers will be offering a condom and testing kit registration and distribution centre. This is really aimed at helping our young people to be safe, to make wise choices, and to have folk that they can go and talk to in addition to those at the surgeries and at the Children and Families Centre. We're calling it Respect because this is the key aim for young people to respect each other and themselves as they grow up. There's also a service called Resolve, which is a mediation service. These are volunteers who will give people time when there are disputes, sometimes in a family between different generations, sometimes between neighbours. And it's just a service to offer people the opportunity to talk, to listen, and to try and resolve disputes so that people can live in peace, both in their own home and within their community. So this is just a shorthand way of saying that we are very blessed in our community. There's a lot going on for young people. They are contributing a great deal to our community. And we are grateful for the 1,200 children and young people who are schooled in Selsey and who these wider activities seek to support.
Well, thank you for that, Mike. There's some very useful information, especially for the young adults out there. And let's hope they make the most use of facilities provided. Right, well, that's about it for this week. I'd like to say a great big thank you to Jean Pratt, to Neil Kimber, and of course to Mike Nicholls for their contributions. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. This is Keith Barnes saying bye for now.